Globalism is a consortium of other nations and megacorporations empowered by slave labor via China to dominate and take control of the nation state of America and to culturally and economically deindustrialize us and break our will. And whether it's Viacom or whether it's News Corp or whether it's Time Warner, there's only 6 big movie houses owned by 5 big companies that have 95% of mainstream media control, and they are all now chiefly financed by the communist Chinese because they're going bankrupt. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here broadcasting worldwide. I am your host, Alex Jones, and we're here Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. We also have the Real News with David Knight. That is weekday mornings from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. when I go live. And then right after we end at 3 p.m. Central, you have Owen Schroyer and, of course, the great War Room as we battle for the Republic against the Globalist. Roger Stone gave us his exclusive last night video and the text of his testimony to Congress behind closed doors today on the Russiagate situation. As soon as he comes out today, I'll have a live video press conference that will be happening, that'll be fed on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. DrudgeReport.com is linked to the exclusive video testimony and the exclusive text at DrudgeReport.com as well. So we'll give you more on that as it unfolds. More on North Korea, more on the NFL. But this NFL thing is absolutely gigantic because they're trying to break our will. And they're trying to say in your own country, your flag's racist, your nation's bad. And then once you learn to bow, quite literally bowing to Zod, Superman, bow to Zod. That's not just in fiction, that's in the real world. Once you show your subservience to George Soros and their psychological warfare combine, where they've used cultural differences to bring down the Middle East, to bring down Eastern Europe, to bring down countless nations and peoples. They're now doing it here, and it's in the WikiLeaks that they're using culture war to carry that out. And we've got the Republican establishment that is involved in it as well. We're going to get to that in a moment. The very powerful words of Stephen Bannon. But know this, globalism is a consortium of other nations and megacorporations empowered by slave labor via China to dominate and take control of the nation state of America and to culturally and economically deindustrialize us and break our will. And whether it's Viacom or whether it's News Corp or whether it's Time Warner, there's only 6 big movie houses owned by 5 big companies that have 95% of mainstream media control, and they are all now chiefly financed by the communist Chinese because they're going bankrupt. First, they sell the country out. First, they impoverish the nation. Then they make all their major films China-centric and communist supportive. And now we see Bill Maher, HBO. We see all these Hollywood stars saying, we like Kim Jong-un, we hate Trump. Trade leaders with us. That's very sick and very evil, even if you hate Trump. But that's how far they've gone in the financing of Hollywood by communist China. And when you look at Viacom and Comedy Central that it owns, and you look at how all their major programs attack yours truly and the president and others and misrepresent what we say and take it out of context to demonize us and tell us that they're the resistance. Yeah, they're the globalist resistance to America. And they are against this country, just like the NFL is. They are disgusting, and they've all got to be cut off. They've got to be fully bankrupted. And they're jokes. And they know that they're bought and paid for. They're consciously against this country. And that's why every major movie you see that's based in science fiction or based in modern affairs or based in military activity, the communist Chinese come in and save America. Hell, the director of the Transformers is coming out with a movie that's based on Escape from New York, where the communist Chinese joined with the U.S. military in a coup to remove Trump. I mean, this is naked. And all you need to know about the opposition is they're the establishment, and that Comedy Central is the opposition to America. And they are the opposition to the resistance. And when they put up stuff like China isn't real and stuff like that, it's like Lloyd Blankfein coming out a few months ago when Trump had Infrastructure Week and said, how's that going for you, Trump? Knowing Congress was blocking it and saying, I just got back from China. We're moving our main operations. It's incredible. Yeah, and the slave plants are great, and the suicide nets are great, and the forced abortion is great, and the organ harvesting of Christians and Buddhists is great. But it doesn't matter because you're Lloyd Blankfein, and you've got this sick thing about somebody was rude to your grandpa in New York once when he got off a boat or something. So you think if you just destroy America and hate America, that somehow it's going to empower you, even though you are America, Lloyd Blankfein. And the media thinks it's cute in CNBC. Oh, look how he trolled the president and talked about how pathetic we are. Yay! Let's all get on the traitor bandwagon. We're going to break all this down, and I'm going to get back into the Harry Carey, the seppuku, the suicide for all the linguists over there at Viacom that are so delicate geniuses and so smart and teach us how conservatives are low-information voters. When I've been out to your crowds, they're the dumbest, ugliest, stupidest people I've ever seen in the Democratic Party. I mean, they're sad. I feel sorry for them. They look like they got hit by a mental retardation beam. And like they've been drinking fluoride. Oh, I guess they have, which CNN now has to admit causes mutation, brain damage, everything else. The entire Dallas Cowboy team takes a knee, gets booed. Flashback, NFL denied Cowboys request to honor cops slain in Dallas. CNN, MSNBC, slave master Trump wants race war, wishes blacks were kneeling in the cotton fields again. Well, that's all made up, but I do know what's happening. Whites all over the place are getting killed, and a lot of poor immigrants from Eastern Europe that are white are moving into black areas, and every couple of days they get shot or hit over the head with a hammer or killed, and people say, I killed them because they're white. Black lives matter, as if Eastern Europeans had anything ever to do with the slave trade. You look at Arabs, almost all Arabs lineage were involved in the slave trade. That's all they had there in the desert was slave trading and controlling of the different trade routes, the Silk routes and others. That's what Mecca was. It was a big slave bazaar. Maybe 2% of Americans that were here before 1868 had slaves, 2%. Most whites come from sharecroppers that were slaves. There was indentured servitude in Europe, the same thing, serfdom, feudalism. Look it up for all the big linguists over at Viacom. Oh, they know what it is. They're not going to tell you about it. We are. And they sit there totally cold-bloodedly knowing what they're doing. And, oh, notice you're not going to hear any more in the news now because it happened 2 days ago. A black guy, racist black Muslim that we brought into our country and gave everything. Not even working a job, big old swole-up roid head on a narcissistic power trip of himself. Went and killed some whites, went and found some whites, and too bad one of them had a gun and shot back. You could have killed more people. But enjoy the Supermax prison you're going to there. You'll probably get released, though. It's all cute. It's all fun. You're not going to hear anything about him. You're not going to hear any whites bitching either. And like blaming all blacks for it. Jesse Jackson, Trump's NFL statement show slave master servant mentality. NBA coach, white people had to be made to feel uncomfortable. Another virtue signaling idiot of the Spurs. Tennessee church shooter admits to crime as bizarre Facebook post surfaces. But again, that's okay. You're not going to hear anything about those guys. You're not going to hear any virtue signaling about that because that's a white devil. That's a bunch of white devils that got shot and killed. Oh, but don't worry. In Berkeley, they allowed the March Against White Supremacy to happen. Nobody attacked that because it was the Antifa scum and the faculty having their march. But they banned Milo and everybody else, and then physically attacked my reporters, who I didn't order to go. They wanted to go, Millie Weaver and Gavin Wentz. And then they broke into her car and ransacked it and tore up our equipment. There's video of that up on Infowars.com, but that's okay. You don't have a right to have speech, and then when we catch you filming us in our speeches, we're going to follow it back to your car and rob it and tear it up. And then we're going to attack women. But that's because, see, they're the heroes fighting Hitler, so it's okay. It's fun. It's a bunch of wimps that just live here in the country and direct violence and then say, I just came and shot your church up. I just came and beat up a woman. I just came and shut down your free speech. I just robbed your car. I just shot a cop in the back. And you know what? You're the bad person. Now kiss my ass and get on your knees before me while I piss in your face. And they've got the NFL player, we can show it, hiking his leg and acting like he pee-peed. Oh, he didn't get fined for that, though. Because, you know, you work for the team. You're not allowed to have your own speech on the field. Not allowed to flip folks off or whatever. But, oh, you can practice peeing on the president and then later say, no, I'm practicing pissing on the... That's what it is. It's peeing, right? It's dominating you. We're only paid $20 million a year. I hate this country. Because Viacom told me to. Sumner Redstone told me to. Yeah, well, old Sumner Redstone got locked up by his family and is hanging on by his fingernails right now like he did off that balcony in that fire. But he's not going to be able to hold on forever. Oh, no. And the devil, his God, is waiting with a big open mouth. Just right there for you, Sumner, and all the rest of the scum at Viacom. We're going to do some big reports on the Chinese money going into Viacom, the communist state-run money going into Viacom.
In ancient times, man roamed the earth in a constant state of hunting or being hunted. Introducing Caveman, where cutting-edge science meets ancient super nutrients. Secure your bottle right now at InfoWarsStore.com.